Okay, cool. All right. So tonight we have Kara and Morgan volunteered to share some of their takeaways for chapter 2. I finished it this afternoon, actually this evening after dinner, and it was a really, really good one. If you guys read it this week, if you read chapter 2, let us know in the chat what you thought about it. And we're going to have, I'm going to let Kara, I'm going to let you start if you want. Will you pray for us too, really quick?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
share some of your takeaways, a couple minutes on your takeaways. And then Morgan is also going to share some of hers.
Yeah. Sure.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm like out of breath.
Hey, you're good.
Going
You're
up
good.
those stairs. I'm like, I have not gotten used to him yet with this belly. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot
They're going to seem
pregnancy.
so easy once that baby comes.
Oh, I know. Okay, let me pray real quick. Father, thank you for the opportunity to just take a moment to slow down and just be in fellowship and community with this group of women. Lord, I just pray that you give me the words to say as I share my heart. And Lord, I just pray that each of them would be vulnerable as well in their thinking and that they would just go throughout this week and be mindful of their thoughts, and they would take captive of anything that Satan is trying to attack them when this week, Lord, that they would continue to dream big and love hard. Thank you, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen. So I I shared this on my Instagram a little bit ago. This is like, it goes kind of in line with what I'm sharing from my takeaways, but Marissa kind of encouraged me. She doesn't know this, but just with sharing, her mental health journey and her story with May being Mental Health Awareness Month. And so, um, this, love you too, Marissa. This season for me has just been really hard mentally. It's just been rough, and just being open and honest with y'all. And so, this book has been really good for me because this chapter in particular, honestly, it kind of took me, what I really was able to kind of sit back and self-reflect and be a little bit more honest with myself, but also just kind of pushing me into that thinking of discomfort. And I think that is what is so good about this opportunity that we have with Plexus. And so I've struggled with the first 2 chapters because it's talking about your God-sized dream. And so I'm like, I don't really know what my God-sized dream is, like how can I come up with, you know, it's like I'm trying to develop what that dream looks like for me. And so, but I thought this chapter talking about your strengths and tapping into those and figuring out what those are, I thought it was really good because, like I mentioned earlier, with self-reflection, I think that I'm slowly kind of learning what my heart is being inclined to, if that makes sense. So, I'll just kind of go through a few of the points that stood out to me. And the very first page, and this is so relevant to what I was talking about with mental health awareness and just being aware of what Satan is trying to creep in your mind with. That very first page, we worry the whisper within our hearts is somehow not really from him after all. And that is so, so common. I feel like, especially with network marketing, because it is like it's a roller coaster ride. Um, what did who was it that said you just have to hop on the wave and ride the waves that you go through? Um, and I feel like that first thing in the very first page of chapter 2, talking about how you feel like you have this dream, but then you're like, is this my dream? Or is this God placing this in my heart? I don't really know. And then for me, even more so, it's amplified because I have a lot of self-doubt, and that's, Satan creeping in, and you start questioning yourself, and you're like, is this my dream? I don't really know, but I have to remind myself that God is not a God of confusion. And so we have to recognize and take captive that thought that that is not of Christ. When you feel confused or you feel anxious about whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whatever your God-sized dream looks like. And then it talked about too, I loved that it said strengths are a part of who we are, while skills are more about what we do. And that kind of made me, so I don't know if any of y'all are familiar. Let me know in the chat. Have y'all ever heard of Clifton Strengths Finders? Have any of y'all like through work? Okay, yeah, Brittany. We recently did, well, we did it last year, and then we recently did it, got our results back. And my number one strength is woo, which is like influencing, which kind of surprised me because I guess it doesn't surprise me that much, but and then like one of them was positivity, communication, includer, things like that. So if y'all have never had the opportunity to do something like that, an Enneagram test, those kinds of things, I really encourage you to find one and take them, because I feel like I really found out a lot about myself just by taking those things. But this particular sentence, strengths are a part of who we are and skills are more about what we do. And I thought that was just really interesting because I'd never really thought like, the woo or the positivity. I just feel like in my mind it's more of like a characteristic of who I am, not or just, I don't know, I just feel like that really kind of resonated with me. And then when it took, I don't know if y'all had a hard time with this, but the little application where you had to like circle your little things, will y'all let me know in the chat what your three were? Because I'm curious of what everybody's 3 strengths that apply to you. And I honestly, I did not take 5 minutes on this. I just quickly circled the ones that I just felt like, okay, yeah, that's me. Friendly, positive, creative. Those are kind of my 3 things. And I still really want to kind of go back. I don't know if any of y'all have done this, but put them through the strength test. I thought this was super interesting because this whole time when I think about strength, I'm very self-focused. I don't know if y'all are like that, but I'm like, this is, you think about what you're good at and it's all about you. But then this strength test is like, does it help me serve God and others? Do others see this? Do I feel energized while I'm living this way? Does God ultimately get the glory from it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, because I'm going to be honest with y'all. This sounds terrible, but it's my selfish nature. When I'm like, oh, woo, influencer, like maybe that's a natural strength of mine, influencing, but then you just immediately think of self, not does God ultimately get the glory from this? But I feel like that's so easy to do whenever you're really thinking about your own strengths. It's easy to think about ourselves rather than how we can glorify the Lord in that. So I was a little bit like, wow, I'm a horrible person. Innately, just naturally. And then there was also the other skills test where circle 3 skills that apply to you. So these were right in line with my positive, creative, and friendly. It was influencing, encouraging, and creating. And again, I didn't really like second guess myself because I know my personality and I'm super indecisive. So I knew that I would be like, oh, leading. Oh, but no, not really. No, should I circle? So anyways, I don't know if y'all do that, but I go down a rabbit hole real quick on doing stuff like that. So on the little thing where it says you have to fill out on page 36, where it says, our experiences allow us to apply our strengths and skills. What are the significant experiences in your life that have brought you to the God-sized dream? Well, again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm still trying to figure out what my God-sized dream is. Because I love Plexus, I love the opportunity, but I'm still not like fully sold. Like that I am the one to like leave my job and you know what I mean? And so, but then there is that part of me that goes, but I do want to be a diamond. I do want the financial and time freedom. So I'm really torn, y'all. I'm really torn on like, what does this look like for me? So I wrote out like career burnout with news in the news industry. I was exhausted. That led me to finding a new job. And so now this opportunity, and I love my job now, like you just said, Brittany, like I enjoy going to work. I enjoy who I work for. They're flexible with me. Like I can't complain. And so I'm struggling with what that looks like for me. But I wrote new opportunities, children, marriage, and then self-discovery. And all of these things have kind of led me to trying to figure out what my dream looks like. Um, I loved this on page 37. This whole chapter just got better and better. I felt like this little thing where she says, I wake up every morning and it's like Jesus has his hand on the back of my neck and he's gently pushing me forward and saying, go, girl, go. Because again, circling back around. I feel like Satan has just been at me with a vengeance this trimester. I've just been mentally, it's been really dark, real dark. And so I feel like this is me right now, like go girl, go. And so I wrote on here, um, this little thing. It says, you guys sounds like I'm out of breath. This is hilarious. I'm just talking. Um, I wrote made for more because I shared this with Natalie too. I told her that the Lord just kind of spoke that in my heart that I am made for more. And I'm still like, what does that mean for me? What does that mean? But I feel like it has something to do with this God-sized dream. Maybe he's birthing within me, and I don't really know what that looks like yet. I can't really confidently tell y'all that I know, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Um, what I do really love though, and I was very encouraged by these parts that I kind of underlined and stuff, where he talks about your God-sized dream. Ultimately, I mentioned this again, it's kind of a reoccurring theme, how your God-sized dream often is so easy to be about yourself and glorification of self and how much money, because this is me, how much money can I make? How much, recognition can I get? Can I get, you know, it's just so natural for us to do that. But when they were talking about if God is calling you to a dream, then that's where his presence in your life, his presence is in your life. You're not being drawn to the dream, you are being drawn to the giver of it. And I love that because I feel like that is what this opportunity has been for me. Plexus for me, this community for me has been so refining. And I think it's the daily accountability. And whenever you're going through a rabbit hole of darkness, like I have been, there's people that are sharing their vulnerabilities in this community. I'm seeing the messages. I may not be saying anything, but I'm seeing them. And it's like that little bit of light that's being shown. And so I think that, I don't know, maybe it is just to be a diamond. I don't, don't really know, can't say that confidently, but I think that this opportunity has really drawn me closer to Christ because y'all, I'm not a reader. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like joining a book club, like heck to the freaking no. I'm not a reader. I don't like it. I had to take this with me to my ultrasound appointment today. Natalie, I was texting Natalie, I think. Like I had to take this with me because I knew like, okay, I'll have to sit in the waiting room. I'll have to be sitting there waiting for the doctor. Like, I might as well read. So, whenever I signed up to share my takeaways, I hadn't even read it yet. I'm just gonna be honest. So, then again, it was like there's an accountability. You have to share your takeaway, so you better go read it. But that's good for me, and I think that that's pushing me to dream and to think bigger and do things that are uncomfortable. Um, This is another one I thought was really good. I hadn't been effectively communicating because I thought that everyone else must know and see what I did. I was on page 40, and she's talking about, once she changed her approach, people did get on board about her passion. And I think that's been really hard because like my family is still a little bit like not sure where this is going or what this looks like for us. And so um that's something where I'm having to dig in and figure out to where I can explain like this is of the Lord. This is something that is more purposeful and bigger than even, any of us can explain. And I know people look at us like we're psycho because they're like, you're selling pink drinks, like, but it is so much bigger than that. Um, I mentioned this again, the God-sized dreams are not about your personal fulfillment. They're not about making you happy, not about filling the empty spaces in your soul. And selfishly, I'm like, but it is about me. Yeah, Natalie said, I love that part on page 39 talking about Noah. People didn't understand what God was doing through him, but he did it anyway. Yes, they were probably like, you have lost your mind. You're building this big ark. Like, what are you doing? And that's kind of how I feel a lot of times. Like, every time I make a post about Plexus, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Which I've kind of gotten over that actually, to be honest, but making progress. But I loved page 44 where it says we're living out our dreams in an imperfect fallen world and connecting with imperfect fallen people along the way. That is what network marketing is. Like we are connecting with people of all walks of life. And if that isn't ministry, I don't know what else is. And so I feel like like the more I talk about it, I feel like the Lord's like, see, I'm just telling you, you're in the right place. Um, Page 45, your job, and I feel like I tell myself this constantly, but also to my downline, my people doing this with me, your job is to not quit no matter what happens. I love you too, Sarah. I just saw that pop up. I was actually talking to just this weekend, Heather and Robin, actually. I'll just call them out. I just was encouraging them every single one of us go through this feeling like as we're pursuing this dream, whatever it looks like this is too hard. Like I'm not cut out for this. I can't do this. And I told Natalie this. I feel like I told her this probably a few months into Plexus, and I've still gone through like the I want to quit phase. But I truly believe the people that are successful in this business are the ones that just stick it out for the long haul. It's the ones that just, even if they do go through a month or 2 weeks without sharing, or they get into a rut or whatever, they just keep pressing in and pressing forward. I feel like those are the diamonds. It's like the diamonds in the rough. Like those are the ones that just continue to be molded and shaped and pressing into the community and doing the hard things and, becoming uncomfortable. I really feel like those are the ones that end up, you know, fulfilling their dream, their God-sized dream, because they just don't give up. And that next sentence literally says, God will take care of the rest. Um, Also, I want to encourage you. This is like my very last thing because I know someone else is sharing, but on page 48, like the Go Deeper guide, I did not do all of those questions, but I did. I was texting Heather Roberts. She's not on here, is she? No, no. Um, So she was texting me and it said, this week, ask at least one other person in your life to share 3 strengths they see in you. I don't know if y'all did that, but I would encourage you to do that because Heather texted me back some things and it literally brought tears to my eyes because I felt like the Lord was using her in that moment to speak to me, and kind of like bring out some things in me that I was like, that's a strength? You sure about that? Um, but it kind of, again, it was kind of went back to that self-reflection. And so I haven't done this yet, but I plan to write those things down that she said to me and just kind of begin to pray over those things and to see how I can utilize those strengths that she shared with me, that she sees within me, that the Lord would continue to reveal those within me and kind of help me to birth that and so that I can truly tap into those things that she sees as strengths, but I don't see as strengths for myself. If that makes sense. Y'all, seriously, I'm so out of breath. This is hysterical. But I encourage you to do that if you haven't done that. Ask someone on the team, or they don't even have to be in Plexus, one of your friends, your family members, 3 strengths that they see in you, because that may surprise you. I feel like that was one thing that, like, wow, if those are some of my strengths, like finding this guy's dream shouldn't be so hard after all. It's just a lot of those things that she said she saw in me to be strengths are not things that I would say I'm good at or I'm scared to utilize, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I hope that encourages y'all to do something with that and know that if you are in a season of darkness or going through it, because what Natalie says all the time, like we're all either going through a season, about to go through a season, or we just got through one. I'm there with you right now in the thick of it. And so I'm just really thank you for asking us to step up and lead tonight, because I probably would not have read chapter 2 had I not. I'm just gonna be honest.
See, there was a reason. There was a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, because mentally I was like, but I'm so glad I did. It's really, really good chapter.
I love this chapter. It was really,
Yeah,
really good. Thank you so
yeah,
much, Kara.
yeah.
All right, Morgan is going to share some of her takeaways, and then we will go over some more things that we have coming up this week. So, Morgan, take it away.
I'll keep this short. I'm still learning how to talk in these kind of settings and stuff. So I think only a couple of things really just got me in this chapter. Um, on page 36 is where it really just called to me. Where it says you might have a God-sized dream if you can't think about anything else. I'm one of those people that I don't know what my goal is in life. I still don't know. I just graduated college and I didn't even use my degree, so I have no idea what I'm still doing. Um, but I know it's something to do with entrepreneurship or something. That is I've always loved that. So that's yeah. So whenever it says, Kara said this already, I wake up every morning and it's like Jesus has his hand on the back of my neck and is gently pushing me forward and saying, go, girl, go, go. That was me because I'm one of those that quit 2 years ago and I was in a rough season at that point. Like, I don't want to say that I'm depressed or anything, but I've suffered with it. Um, I was in a season where I had to go to therapy. I was mentally unwell. Um, I was going through college struggling. I didn't know what I wanted in life at that point. Um, so literally I had to quit because I was not able to fulfill other people in this. So there was no way I was going to do anything well into this journey. So I quit. I had to step away, go take care of myself for a little bit. And whenever I finally got to the point where I was happy again, that started end of last year. I started finally finding myself again. And I always had that feeling in the back of my head, like, you can do Plexus again. Like you can do that. You have the experiences, you know how to connect well. And so I would literally go on Plexus, the website, and I would fill my card up, ready to join, have everything set up. And then at the end of it, I could just feel like the devil saying, you are not good enough for that. And so I would back out. And I would do that probably 4 times within the span of 4 months until Stacia finally got me in March. And that's when I was like, okay, someone finally reached out to me. And so I'll do it. it took that leap. But that really got me. I'm finally at the stage where I feel like I can help others in this. I've had a lot of experiences since then. I learned how to teach, and I never thought I could teach. Like, I never thought that I had the capability of even trying to motivate young kids from what my past was. But I know that's the devil talking, saying I'm not good enough. And because I felt like my past was just so terrible. Like, why would I want to try and help other kids and motivate them whenever I'm not good enough? And so that was another thing. And then another thing was the skills to implement. I liked that because while I was in therapy, we actually did the thing that Kara was talking about. And it made me realize that I'm not very empathetic. And I learned that. I had to learn a lot of self-reflection. I don't know how to feel other people's emotions very well. I learned that, and that's what I struggled with the first time. But I'm really good at motivating and trying to stay positive. In February, my dad, he tried to kill himself from his alcohol addiction. I'm sorry. And so that really helped me. This really got me. I'm sorry. So that really helped me when Stacia finally reached out to me, and I felt like I had somebody who is there for me. Because I never really felt that connection when I was in Plexus the first time. And it's not anybody's fault. It was my own because I didn't know how to self-reflect on myself. I was going through so much. So it really is the detours. I like that on page 44 when it said that no matter how many detours you take, he will lead you to where you need to be in the end. And because of this, all the self-reflection I've had in this year, I told myself this is going to be the year that I make it. I do the things that I actually want to do. And because of that, I feel like I'm finally finding myself, and I'm able to actually motivate the people under me. And I don't know, I just feel like it really got me. Sorry. Yeah. I just feel like with all the skills, I never thought I had a lot of skills or anything to do this, but I guess from all the brokenness I've had in my past, I'm able to relate more and be more empathetic toward people who are also doing it. And that's what I put as my skill. I'm able to connect with people from all walks of life because I've been through all walks of life, it feels like, at just 23 years old. So I'm pretty short and sweet, but that's what I took away from
I
it.
love that. Thank you. I have seen, like, I knew Morgan when she was doing this the first round, and y'all, I can tell you she's a completely different person this time than she was 2 years ago. She's a completely different person today than she was when she started the products back again in March. Completely different person. You guys should see the way she motivates her team and builds them up and pumps them up, like every single day in her team chat. I'm in there and she's like, what are we working on today? I want to motivate you guys to do this today. Today she sent a Motivation Monday message, like completely different person. So there was a reason why you had to step away. You learned from those experiences, and now you're able to relate to people more on your team. There was a reason for that too. So good. I love that. Okay. So really quick, because we have like 6 minutes left. Where did my notes go? Okay. So we are going to start now that school is coming to a close. Summer break is right around the corner. Hallelujah. However, I know like every single person on this call, most of you on this call are major planners. You want to know what's going on this week. You want to have your week of posts planned out, all the things, right? So we are going to start doing power hours / work sessions, whatever you want to call it, 3 days a week. And we're going to be doing this starting this week, and we will carry it through all summer. So if you're struggling to find a time to sit down and work your business, you'll have 3 options to do this throughout the week. Marissa is going to be doing hers. It's me, Marissa, and Natalie that will be leading these. We'll be doing all of ours probably very similar. We'll be doing the same type of things. Okay. We're going to be keeping these at 30 to 35 minutes. We'll do it just like we're doing right now on a Zoom. So Marissa is going to do hers. If you want to write it down, put it on your calendar, all 3 of these days, put it as a repeating occurrence on your calendar so that you have all 3 days to do this. Okay. Sunday nights at 9 Central is when Marissa is going to do hers. Natalie's going to do hers on Monday mornings at 11:45. So lunchtime. If you're working full-time still, you can do Monday mornings at 11:45 during lunch. And then I'm going to do one on Thursday nights at 8. Morgan and I have been doing this with her team for Morgan, a month and a half now, and it has been absolutely insane. It's been awesome. So we're just going to open it up to everybody for Thursday nights at 8. So we've got those 3 days. You guys can jot those down in your calendars. We will like go through everything. What we're going to do, we break it down into like first 5 minutes, we're going to do this. Now spend 10 minutes and do this. Now spend 5 minutes and do this. And it'll be very like quick. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking. We're just going to be like, do this, do this, do this. Boom, you're done. You worked your business in 30 minutes. Okay. Now this Wednesday night, Marissa and I are going to be doing a mini Me+3 event at 8:30. Okay. It's very similar to our Me+3 thread that we've already got going on for like newbies. If they're interested in going silver, getting their products paid for, we love that thread, but it can get really overwhelming and confusing. If someone just started this month and that thread is 3 months old, they have to go all the way back to the beginning of that thread to try to catch up. So we're going to be doing these mini Me+3s every other week throughout the month, and it'll be on Wednesdays. And you can add all of your potentials to it. Marissa and I have already started working on the content for that, and we will have it saved. We'll probably put it in a board, and we can share it with you guys so you can do your own with your team. If you want, if Wednesdays don't work, you could do it on a different night if you want, however you guys want to do it. But all you will have to do is copy and paste the content into that message thread. Okay. We can keep the Me+3 thread that we have going right now. That's totally fine. But a lot of the stuff that we're posting in there right now is like posting ideas and motivation and like some challenges for people that have been, doing the Me+3 for a couple of months. This is specifically going to be for newbies. Hopefully that will clear up any confusion and feelings of overwhelm for all of the newbies too. Also this Thursday, we challenged you guys for this week to host your own messenger event. So you can team up with somebody. I'm teaming up with Morgan and Stacia. We're doing one for our team. You can do whatever type of messenger event you want. New moms, expecting moms, teachers, busy working moms, single moms, whatever you guys want to do. This Thursday, pair up with somebody and do that together. And then, Natalie, was there something that you were going to talk about too?
I don't think so. I think you covered all of it. Really, it was just about like, you guys stepping up like y'all have already. I feel like people are doing so good at going live for the first time, or hosting a messenger event for the first time, or posting in the Gut Health, Hope, and Happiness page, getting their people to do shout out posts. Like, that's just what it's all about. Like, the more that you are doing something outside of your comfort zone and encouraging people on your team to do the same, like, that's when you're going to see the growth.
Yeah.
And I was telling my team earlier that if you just do that 3-2-1-1, like 3 new engagements with people non-Plexus related, 2 follow-ups with people you've talked to about Plexus before, 1 post and 1 customer care, like, then you will be moving the
the needle in your business, even if you're in a crazy season right now. Like, as long as you're intentional and you are doing those things, even in a crazy season, you will grow. So I'm just proud of y'all. I feel like so many people are doing so many things, and I loved the call tonight. Y'all did so good. Morgan and Kara, thank you for sharing tonight.
Yeah. And the more you guys, honestly, too, the more you guys do more lives, and like, we're pushing you guys out of your comfort zone a little bit, a lot, not even a little bit, a lot, because we know you guys can do it. And we know you guys are leaders. You're our leaders on our team. You guys are the ones, everyone on this call, you're like progressing, your team is growing. So we want you guys to be more involved. The more you do it, the more your confidence will grow. Okay. We've added, I just checked, we've added already over 60 people this month. Okay. So if you guys are still using the ad tag message system, good job. Keep it up. It's obviously working. That third-party validation is absolutely key. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. We're about to get kicked off. But thank you, Kara and Morgan, for sharing tonight. It was really, really good. Next week, chapter 3. All right.